there. Well, today we start 2 new sports, weight training and whitewater canoeing, and with me in the studio is Martin Shaw.
Hi.
Martin, I've been enjoying your gliding. How do you feel about it?
Wonderful. Well, it's as good as it looks.
You look like a little boy who's just had all his Christmases come at once.
That's right.
It's very fun.
And at the beginning, you can see how scared I was, too.
It's very interesting, actually, the sports that people do decide to take up. I mean, is that obviously something you've always wanted to do?
Yes, I mean, that was true, what I said right at the start, that it was, I'd literally waited 30 years to do that. And I'd had a kind of obsession with flight ever since I was a kid. And here I was given a chance to do it. But I was amazed when I saw the first bit of film, the beginning, that I felt I was very composed, and you could see in my face I was terrified.
Scared, absolutely, yes. One of the first films we're going to see today is Brian Hooper, who, as you know, is the Superstars champion. And I was thinking it must be really difficult for someone like that to actually pick a sport, because he's the sort of guy that's actually very good at everything. And in the series, he does cover an enormous variety of sports, as we'll see now, I think. Notice the odd comment coming in, like, turn your knees out, Francis, you'll break your back.
Yeah.
You obviously know what you're talking about.
Well, doing that precise exercise, I dislocated my back a few years ago.
Okay, so, Francis, if you're listening.
Watch it, yeah. It makes me very paranoid when I see that exercise, because I can remember what it was like. Yeah.
But that's great for Francis, because he literally can just pop out from the studio, go and do a quick half hour. I mean, gliding isn't quite as accessible, is it, to say the least? So how do you find time to carry on with that?
I hardly ever do, and it's a tragedy because I love it so much. I went to Australia 2 months after doing this filming.
Yes.
And there I was able to carry it on. They've got a very flourishing gliding federation in Australia. And I met the chief coach. And it's totally different from here. In Britain, you've got to watch out for all kinds of hazards and control zones, and you have to be aware that you might have to land out. In Australia, it doesn't matter, because it's just thousands of miles of nothing all the way around, and it all looks the same, which makes getting lost a bit of a problem.
Yes, I was going to say, you could get into real trouble if you land in the wrong part of the desert.
Yes, but it's always relatively safe to land, because everything's flat, you know.
But with your course you did, I mean, it was only, 4 days before we're about to see you go solo. I mean, what was the worst bit of that build-up? I mean, was it a build-up?
Yes, it was. You see, the way it normally happens is that one day the instructor will quietly get out of the rear seat, and you think he's gone for a pee or a fag or something, or to pray.
Yes.
And he comes back and does up the straps in the rear seat and says, well, I think you can do the next one on your own. So you've got just that moment to
And that's that moment you're told.
That's it. What happened with me, because we had a film schedule, I could see right from the beginning of the week when I was actually scheduled to go solo. So, and it was creeping up. So every time I made a bad landing, like on day 2 or day 3, I thought, in 2 days, I'm going to do this on my own.
Yes, I said actually when we did the first programme that, in fact, having a camera crew with you does make learning a sport more difficult, because you've not only got everyone jeering at you from not too far away, but you also have this more of a schedule to keep because of the filming commitments, obviously.
Yes. Well, the thing that really did me in was the day that I knew, according to the schedule, that I was destined to go solo, and I felt completely unprepared.
Really?
The mist closed in over Lasham, and it was a whiteout, and we couldn't fly, so I spent the whole day like this.
And another night, that's the worst bit, isn't it? A night sort of drumming your fingers.
And we lost 2 whole days. Now, I was appalled at the prospect of going solo in 6 days. And when we lost those 2 days filming, I knew I was going to have to do it in 4 days.
Incredible. It's amazing. But have you ever flown anything before? I mean, you mentioned earlier that you'd had a go in a helicopter, and I've had a go in a helicopter, and the controls on a helicopter are incredibly sensitive. Is it the same sort of sensation when you're in a glider at all?
It's related, but it's related in the same way, I suppose, that a traction engine is related to a car, and a car is related to a lorry. They've all got fundamentally the same controls, but the feel is incredibly different.
Yes.
I have taken the controls of a light aeroplane before now, but usually with somebody else monitoring what I do. A glider is totally different. In many ways, it's harder to fly than an airplane, because although you're lacking one essential control, which is the engine and the throttle and stuff like that, with an airplane, you bring it down and you actually stall it onto the ground, and there comes a point when the airplane is virtually landing itself.
Yes.
With a glider, you have to fly it all the way. You're actually flying it even when it's going along the ground.
Especially when you've got the problems of having a camera stuffed inside the cockpit with you, so you're probably sitting at rather a strange angle.
I was,
anyway.
yes. There were some of the shots where they were doing a point of view shot from behind me and looking at the instruments and through the front of the cockpit. I was sitting, if I can approximate it, like this, and trying to fly like that. And also, a few of the trips we went up with cameras strapped onto the glider and strapped on the glider's wing, which altered the flying characteristics radically. So I had that to cope with.
All
as
fun
well.
and games. Well,
Yeah.
let's have a look at this this solo flight.
Flaps with our hair. Trim. Canopy. Do you want to talk to me through the window or
Yeah,
shall I
I'll
leave
talk
the
through the
canopy?
window. Oh, close the window before you go.
Okay.
Right. Yes, you won't find any real difference in the trimming at all. You'll get off the ground a little quicker. You'll find the glider just a little bit more buoyant. And that's fine. Okay. We'll probably have this whole landing area here. So you'll be all right. Okay?
Open. Close. All clear button behind. Make up slack. All out. I think I've got more butterflies than Martin has.
Yeah.
Go, man.
Okay, off we go. Let's see how he does. Off the ground.
That looks pretty
That's
good.
great.
A lot of noise at the back. I hope that canopy's okay. That's nice. At least it looks nice to me.
Yes, that's fine. No, that's all right.
Looks beautiful.
Now I just have to wait for him to get up and then release.
Uh-huh.
I'm always a little scared on first solos that I'll forget all about them once they've gone, and then I look round the sky and can't find them anywhere.